Let's start our next topic in this series, the parliament. Parliament is a long topic, so it is divided in two parts. Parliament part 1 and Parliament part 2. So here we will cover Parliament part 1 first. What is the minimum age laid down for a person to seek election to the Lok Sabha? Option C, 25 years. According to Article 84, subclause B, the minimum age for a person seeking election to the Council of States is 30 years, and the minimum age to be elected as a member of Lok Sabha is 25 years. What is the minimum age for member of parliament? Option C, 25 years. In order to be chosen a member of Lok Sabha, a person must not be less than the age of option C, 25 years. Which one of the following is not correct with regard to the elections to the Lok Sabha? Elections are on the basis of adult suffrage, correct. Election commission is required to conduct elections, correct. The electoral rules are prepared under the direction and control of the President of India, it is incorrect. On the request of election commission, the president is required to make available to the election commission such staff as may be necessary for the discharge of its functions. It is right. Option C. According to Article 326 of the Indian Constitution, election to the House of People and legislative assemblies of the state are held on the basis of adult suffrage. Article 324 provides that the superintendent's direction and control of elections to be vested in the election commission. Thus, statement C is wrong as electoral rules are prepared under the direction of the election commission as given in Article 324 clause 1. For election to the Lok Sabha, a nomination paper can be filed by option C, any citizen of India whose name appears in the electoral roll of a constituency. According to Article Section 4, Clause D of the Representation of People Act 1951, for election to the Lok Sabha, a nomination paper can be filed by any citizen of India whose name appears in the electoral rolls of any parliamentary constituency. The state-wise seat allocation in Lok Sabha is based on population. Option A is right. For the purpose of election of Lok Sabha members, each state is divided into territorial constituencies in such a manner that the ratio between the population of each constituency and the number of seats allotted to it is so far as practicably same throughout the state. This procedure of allocation shall not apply to a state having a population of less than up to 6 million. These provisions above have been made under Article 81 of the Constitution. According to Article 82 of the Constitution of India, allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha to the states is on the basis of option B, 1971 census. Presently, the number of seats of each state in Lok Sabha is allotted on the basis of option C, census of 1971. The state-wise allocation of seats in Lok Sabha is based on the 1971 census. Up to which year does this remain intact? Option B, 2026. 84th Constitutional Amendment Act 2001 made an amendment to the Article 81 Clause 3 proviso that in place of year 2000 for the purpose of allotment of seats in the House of People any state 2026 should be substituted and shall not be amended till 2026 and be construed as a reference to the 1971 census for allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha. 84th Amendment Act frozen the total number of existing seats in the Lok Sabha on the basis of 1971 census. They shall remain unaltered till the first census to be taken after the year option D 2026. The revision of each state into territorial constituencies for the Lok Sabha is done by Delimitation Commission, which this Delimitation Commission has been freezed till which year? Option C 2026. Maximum strength of Lok Sabha as stipulated in the Constitution of India is option D none of these. Lok Sabha is the House of People. Its members are elected through direct election. The maximum number of its members could be 552. 530 from states, plus 20 from union territories, and 2 from Anglo Indian community. Article 81 and 331. The arrangements for nominating representatives of the Anglo Indian community in the Lok Sabha have not been extended beyond the stipulated date 25 January 2020 by the Constitution 104th Amendment Act 2019. Thus, its maximum strength can be 550. Which of the following constitutional amendments is related to raising the number of members of Lok Sabha to be elected from the states? Option C, 7th and 31st. The 7th Constitutional Amendment Act 1956 determined the number of members in Lok Sabha as 520. The 31st Constitutional Amendment Act 1973 increased the number of Lok Sabha members from 525 to 545 seats. At present, the members of Lok Sabha are 550, 530 members from the states plus 20 members from the union territories. It is noteworthy that the arrangements of nominating two representatives of the Anglo Indian community in the Lok Sabha have not been extended beyond the stipulated date, 25 January 2020, by the Constitution 104th Amendment Act 2019. The strength of Lok Sabha was increased from 525 to 545 through which amendment? Option A, 31st Amendment, Constitutional Amendment Act 1973 increased the strength of Lok Sabha from 525 to 545. The number of members representing states was increased from 500 to 525 and the number of members representing union territories was decreased from 25 to 20. The maximum number of members in Lok Sabha can be option C, 550. According to Article 81 of the Indian Constitution, the maximum number of members in the Lok Sabha can be 550, 530 from states and 20 from union territories. According to Article 331, notwithstanding anything in Article 81, the President, if he is of the opinion that the Anglo Indian community is not adequately represented in the Lok Sabha, could nominate not more than two members of that community of Lok Sabha. It is noteworthy that the arrangements of nominating two representatives of the Anglo Indian community in the Lok Sabha have not been extended beyond the stipulated date, 25 January 2020, by the Constitution 104th Amendment Act 2019. There are currently 543 members in Lok Sabha, 524 members from the states plus 19 members from UTs. What is the current number of members of the Lok Sabha? Option B, 543. What can be the maximum representation from the UTs to the Lok Sabha? Option B, 20. Article 81, Composition of the House of People. It reads not more than 530 members chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the states and not more than 20 members to represent the union territories chosen in such a manner as the President may by law provide. In the general elections 2009, election for 543 Lok Sabha constituencies was held. Out of these, how many Lok Sabha constituencies are from states? Option C, 530. How many seats are reserved for UTs in Lok Sabha? Option A, 20. According to Article 81, as amended by the 31st Amendment Act 1973, and Goa, Daman and Diu Reorganization Act 1987 of the Constitution, for the Lok Sabha, a maximum of 530 members can be elected from the states and 20 from the constituencies of union territories. Currently, the number of Lok Sabha seats in union territories is 19, Delhi 7, Andaman and Nicobar 1, Chandigarh 1, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu 2, Lakshadweep 1, Puducherry 1, Jammu and Kashmir 5, Ladakh 1. While in Rajya Sabha, it is 8, Delhi 3, Puducherry 1, Jammu and Kashmir 4. In which article of the Constitution of India was the provision for reservation of scheduled caste in the Lok Sabha made? Option A, Article 330. Article 330, reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the House of People, Lok Sabha. Article 331, representation of Anglo Indian communities in the Lok Sabha. In January 2020, the Anglo-Indian reserved seats in the Parliament and State Legislature of India were discontinued by 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2019. Article 332, reservation of seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in the Legislative Assembly of States. Article 333, representation of Anglo-Indian communities in the Legislative Assembly of the states. Reservation of seats for scheduled tribes in the Lok Sabha does not exist in the state of option A, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Till 2008, there was no reservation for scheduled tribe in Lok Sabha in the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Kerala, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Punjab, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, and UP. After the delimitation of 2008, Karnataka and Meghalaya both have reserved seats, each state for scheduled tribes in Lok Sabha. At present, there is no reservation for scheduled tribes in Lok Sabha in the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. There is no reservation for SC and ST for Lok Sabha in option A, Arunachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. Till 2008, there was no reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in the state of Arunachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, Goa, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Sikkim. But now, after delimitation in 2008, both seats of Lok Sabha for the state of Meghalaya have been reserved for scheduled tribe. Andaman and Nicobar, Chandigarh, and Puducherry are UTs where no seats are reserved for SC and ST. In Lok Sabha, there is no reservation for SC and ST in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir. So presently, there are no reservations for SC and ST for Lok Sabha and Arunachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. How many seats are reserved for scheduled caste in the Lok Sabha? Option D, 84. The number of constituencies reserved for the scheduled caste has increased from 79 to 84 after the delimitation of 2008. As per the order issued by Delimitation Commission in 2008, 412 are general, 84 seats are reserved for scheduled caste, and 47 seats for scheduled tribes. Earlier, it was 79 and 41 for scheduled and caste and scheduled tribe respectively. Though the seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are reserved in Lok Sabha, they are elected by all voters in constituency without any separate electorate. If the number of seats allocated to a seat in a Lok Sabha is 42, then the number of seats reserved for the scheduled caste in that state will be, according to Article 330, Clause 2, the number of seats reserved in any state or UT for a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe under Clause 1 shall be, as nearly as may be, the same proportion to the total number of seats allocated to that state or UT in that House of People as the population SC or ST bears to the total population of the state or UT. For example, in the year 1996, the number of Lok Sabha members in West Bengal and erstwhile Andhra Pradesh was 42, in which seats reserved for scheduled caste were 8 and 6 respectively. After delimitation in the year 2008, the reserved seats for scheduled caste in these two states are 10 and 7 respectively. Thus, none of the options are correct. Which one of the following states has the highest number of reserved seats for the scheduled tribe in the Lok Sabha? Option C, MP. MP has reserved a maximum of 6 seats for scheduled tribe in the Lok Sabha after recommendation of Delimitation Commission in 2008. There are 4 reserved seats in the state of Gujarat for scheduled tribes. Apart from these, Jharkhand and Odisha each have 5 seats reserved for scheduled tribes. Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra each have reserved 4 seats for scheduled tribe in Lok Sabha. There is no seat reserved for scheduled tribes in states of UP and Bihar. Which one of the following states elects the largest number of members representing scheduled tribe to the House of People? Option C, MP. From which of the following states maximum number of seats are reserved for scheduled tribes in Lok Sabha? Option D, MP. Who holds power to appoint nominees from Anglo-Indian community in the Lok Sabha? President. President could hold the power to nominate Anglo-Indian members in Lok Sabha According to Article 331, if the President is of the opinion that the Anglo Indian community is not adequately represented in the Lok Sabha, he could nominate not more than two members of that community. The arrangements for nominating representatives of the Anglo Indian community in the Lok Sabha have not been extended beyond the stipulated date, 25 January 2020, by Constitution 104th Amendment Act 2019. How many members may be nominated by the President from Anglo Indian community if he is of the opinion that the community is not adequately represented in the House of People? There were two members, but this provision has been repealed. So, the President of India can nominate two members in the Lok Sabha to give representation to Anglo Indian communities. Option B. Before completing its term, the Lok Sabha can be dissolved. Option D. By the President on the recommendation of Prime Minister. According to Article 85, Clause 2, Subclause B, the Lok Sabha may be dissolved before completion of its tenure. The period exercises this power on the recommendation of President or Council of Ministers. Prior to the completion of tenure, the Lok Sabha can be dissolved by the President on the recommendation of Council of Ministers. Option C is correct. Consider the following statements. A President of India can summon a session of Parliament at such a place as he thinks fit. Correct. Constitution of India provides for three sessions of the Parliament in a year, but it is not mandatory to conduct all three sessions. It is incorrect because Constitution of India does not provide any number of sessions that Parliament should hold. There is no minimum number of days that the Parliament is required to meet in a year. Option C is also correct. So 1 and 3, option C is correct. Article 85, Clause 1 of Indian Constitution empowers the President to summon each House of Parliament to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit. But 6 months shall not intervene between its last sitting in one session and the date appointed for its first sitting in the next session. So, the Constitution provides for the maximum gap between two sessions of Parliament, but there is no minimum gap. Generally, how many sessions are there in the Lok Sabha? Option A, 3. Article 85 of the Constitution of India deals with the session, prorogation, and dissolution of the Parliament. Under this, the President is given the power to call the session of each House of the Parliament from time to time, provided that the session of Parliament should be called by the President in such a way that there should not be a gap of 6 months between the last meeting of one session and the first meeting of the next session. In other words, at least two sessions of the Parliament should be called in a year. By the way, the three sessions of the Lok Sabha, usually called in a year in India, are Budget session, February to May; monsoon session, July to August; winter session, November to December. The sitting of House of People may be terminated by adjournment, prorogation, dissolution. Option D, all of the above. The sitting of the House of the People may be terminated by way of adjournment, prorogation, and dissolution. Adjournment is done by the Speaker of Lok Sabha, while prorogation and dissolution are done by the President under Article 85, Clause 2. Consider the following statements. Summoning of the House means convocation? No. Yes. Prorogation ends a session? Yes. Dissolution terminates House? Yes. Prorogation of a session can be effected by the leader of the House alone. It is incorrect. Option D is right. This question relates to major procedures of Indian Parliament legislature. Summoning, adjournment, prorogation means ending of a session and dissolution. Statements 1 to 3 are correct. Statement 4 is incorrect because prorogation is done by the President of the country under Article 85, Clause 2. Which one of the following is authorized to prorogue the session of the House of the People? Option D, President. The term of the Lok Sabha, option C, can be extended by 1 year at a time during the proclamation of emergency. According to Article 83, Clause 2 of the Constitution, the House of the People, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for 5 years from the date appointed for its first meeting and no longer after the expiry of the said period of 5 years, provided that the said period may, while a proclamation of emergency is in operation, be extended by Parliament by law for a period not exceeding 1 year at a time and not extending in any case beyond a period of 6 months after proclamation has ceased to operate. Session of Lok Sabha is called for at least option B, 2 times in a year. According to Article 85, Clause 1, the President shall, from time to time, summon each House of the Parliament to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit. But 6 months shall not pass between its last sitting in one session and the date appointed for its first sitting in the next session. This indicates that the session of Lok Sabha is called for at least 2 times in a year. What is the quorum of Lok Sabha in relation to its strength? Option D, 1 by 10. Quorum is the minimum number of members required to be present in the House before it can transact any business, as provided by Article 100, Clause 3. The quorum to constitute a meeting of either House of Parliament is 1 by 10th of the total number of members of the House. What is the quorum to constitute a meeting of Lok Sabha? 1 by 10th of total members of House. Option B. The quorum of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is option C, 1 by 10th of total membership. Which state sends the largest number of members in Lok Sabha? Option D, UP. UP sends the largest number of members, 80, to Lok Sabha. In the given option, number of members in Lok Sabha is as follows: Bihar 40 members, MP 29, West Bengal 42. In India, which state has the largest representation in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? Option A, UP. The state of UP has the largest representation in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. 80 seats in the Lok Sabha and 31 seats in the Rajya Sabha are allotted to UP, which is the largest number allotted to any state. So long as the representation in Lok Sabha is concerned, which state ranks second and third? Till the question year, that is 1994, the maximum number of seats in Lok Sabha was allotted to the state of Bihar among the states in the given options. In the year 2000, three new states were created. Present status of representation in Lok Sabha is as given below. First UP, second Maharashtra 48 seats, third West Bengal 42 seats, fourth Bihar 40 seats, fifth Tamil Nadu 39 seats, sixth MP 29 seats. After UP, the highest number of Lok Sabha seats have been allotted to option C, Maharashtra. How many Lok Sabha seats are allocated to the state of Rajasthan? Option C, 25. There are 25 seats allocated for the state of Rajasthan in the Lok Sabha, out of which 4 seats are reserved for scheduled caste and 3 seats for scheduled tribes. How many Lok Sabha members are elected from Uttarakhand? Option B, 5. 5 members are elected from Uttarakhand in Lok Sabha. Seats allocated to Bihar in the House of People is the total seats allocated to. Before the year 2000, there were total of 54 seats for Bihar in the Lok Sabha. After bifurcation of Bihar and the formation of the state of Jharkhand, out of these 54 seats, 40 seats have been allocated to Jharkhand and 40 seats remain with Bihar. MP had 40 seats and Assam had 14 seats. Thus, total number of seats in MP and Assam was equal to total number of seats allotted to Bihar. At present, MP has 29 seats. Which one of the following pairs of states has equal seats in the Lok Sabha? The seats allotted to states given in the options are as follows: Punjab 13, Assam 14, Gujarat 26, Rajasthan 25, MP 29, Tamil Nadu 39, Andhra Pradesh 42, and West Bengal 42. Thus, Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal have equal seats in the Lok Sabha. At present, after the formation of Telangana in 2014, out of these 42 seats in Andhra Pradesh, 17 have been allotted to Telangana. So now Andhra Pradesh has 25 seats. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Andhra Pradesh 42, Presently, Andhra Pradesh has 25 seats, Assam 13, Punjab 13, West Bengal 42. Match list with list 2. Option D is correct option. Andhra Pradesh 25, Telangana 17, Tamil Nadu 39 seats, Maharashtra 48, Chhattisgarh 11, West Bengal 42, UP 80, Bihar 40, MP 29. Which among the following group of state or UTs has only one seat in the Lok Sabha? Option D. Chandigarh, Sikkim, and Mizoram is a group of states or UTs that have been allocated only one seat each in the Lok Sabha. Other states of UTs that have only one seat are Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep, Nagaland, and Puducherry. From which of the following states two members of the Lok Sabha are elected? Option A. Tripura. Among the given options, Tripura is a state from which two members of the Lok Sabha are elected. Apart from Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, Manipur, and Meghalaya have two members each represented in Lok Sabha. Which one of the following is the largest area wise Lok Sabha constituency? Option B, Ladakh. The five largest constituencies for Lok Sabha election on the basis of area are 1 Ladakh, 2 Barmer, 3rd Kutch, 4 Arunachal East, and 5 Arunachal West. The smallest constituency on the basis of area is Chandni Chowk. After delimitation, the largest Lok Sabha constituency in terms of number of voters in UP is option B, Unnao. Out of the given options, the largest Lok Sabha constituency in terms of number of voters is Unnao, while the largest Lok Sabha constituency in terms of number of voters in the state is Ghaziabad. Malogam, the polling station with only one voter during 2024 election, 20 Lok Sabha elections fall in which state? Option C, Arunachal Pradesh. During the Lok Sabha elections 2024 in Malogam village in Anjor district of Arunachal Pradesh, a temporary polling station was set up for a lone voter. The village falls under the Hayuliang Assembly constituency in Anjor district bordering China and in Arunachal East Lok Sabha seat. In which Lok Sabha seat, one of India's particularly vulnerable tribal groups, Shompen tribe, for the first time exercised their democratic rights to vote in April 2024. Option D, Andaman and Nicobar. Among the PVTGs of India, seven members of Shompen tribe from Great Nicobar Island exercised their democratic right to vote for the first time in the 2024 Lok Sabha general elections. Their votes on April 19, 2024 for the Andaman and Nicobar Lok Sabha seats. What is the maximum expenditure limit for the parliamentary elections of a constituency? It has been recently changed. So, in January 2022, Election Commission of India increased the expenditure limit for candidates contesting in Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly polls. Election Commission hiked the poll expenditure limit up to rupees 95 lakh for the Lok Sabha election. For the state assembly elections, the expenditure limit has been increased to 40 lakh from rupees 28 lakh. Except for this, in smaller areas, candidates now spend a maximum of 28 lakh, 40% higher than the previous limit of 20 lakh. In case of election of Lok Sabha, the amount of security deposit by the general category candidates and SC/ST category candidates respectively is. It has also been recently changed. At the time of this question, the amount of security deposit for general category candidate and SC/ST category was 10,000 and 5,000 respectively. But the Election Commission increased the security deposit in 2010, which are as follows. Lok Sabha election general category 25,000, SC/ST category 12,500, State Legislative Assembly election general category 10,000, SC/ST Legislative Assembly 5,000. A candidate of Lok Sabha poll loses his security amount if he or she get not get none of the above. It is 1 by 6th of votes. Any candidate who fails to secure more than 1 by 6th of the valid votes polled in the constituency loses his security money or deposit. First general election of Lok Sabha was held in option B 1952. The first general election of Lok Sabha was held between 25 October 1951 and 21 February 1952. The election was held for a total of 489 seats. The first session of first Lok Sabha commenced on 13 May 1952. The tenure of which Lok Sabha was about 6 years. Option A, 5th Lok Sabha. The tenure of 5th Lok Sabha was about 6 years, which functioned from 15th March 1971 to 18 January 1977. Ninth Lok Sabha was dissolved in option A, 13th March 1991. The ninth Lok Sabha was constituted on 2 December 1989 and dissolved on 13 March 1991. Election for 12th Lok Sabha was held in option D, February 1998. The elections for the 12th Lok Sabha were held in February March 1998 and the 12th Lok Sabha was constituted on 10th March 1998 and was dissolved in on 26th April 1999. Which of the following Lok Sabha did not complete its full 5-year term? Option B, 13th Lok Sabha. Among the options given in the question, 13th Lok Sabha, which was constituted on 10 October 1999 and dissolved on 6 February 2004, could not complete its 5-year tenure. In general elections of 1999, the politics of the country was facing various conflicts and clashes. During this period of turmoil, the 13th Lok Sabha was dissolved before completion of its tenure. Which one of the following is not correctly matched? Option B, 7th. 7th Lok Sabha election was held in 1980. The remaining options are correct. 11th in 1996, 13th in 1999, and 9th 1989. Lok Sabha elections 2024 were held in how many phases? Option B, 7 phases. The Election Commission of India released the election schedule on 16th March 2024, according to which voting took place from 19 April to 1 June 2024 in a total of 7 phases. Each phase covered voting for different Lok Sabha constituencies. The results were declared on 4 June 2024. Who is the leader of Lok Sabha? Option B, Prime Minister. According to Article 75, Clause 1, the Prime Minister shall be appointed by the President. He is the head of the Council of Ministers and the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha. If the Prime Minister is not a member of lower house of Parliament, then he can nominate another minister as the leader of the house. For example, during the 14th Lok Sabha, Manmohan Singh, then a member of Rajya Sabha, was the Prime Minister of India, but the leader of the House of the People was Pranab Mukherjee. Consider the following statements. In the election for Lok Sabha and State Assembly, the winning candidate must get at least 50% of the votes polled to be declared elected. Incorrect. According to the provision laid down in the Constitution of India in Lok Sabha, the Speaker's post goes to the majority party and Deputy Speaker to the opposition. It is also incorrect. Option D is right. The election for Lok Sabha or State Assembly in India is conducted on the principle of first past the post system. In this method, a candidate with the highest number, but not necessarily a majority of votes, is elected. Thus, statement 1 is incorrect. According to Article 93 of the Constitution, the House of the People shall, as soon as may be, choose two members of the House to be respectively Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Traditionally, the Speaker's post goes to the majority and Deputy Speaker to the opposition. However, there is no such provision in the Constitution. Therefore, statement 2 is also wrong. In India, Lok Sabha Speaker is chosen. Option B is correct. According to Article 93, the House of People shall, as soon as may be, choose two members of the House to be respectively Speaker and Deputy Speaker thereof, and so often as the office becomes vacant, the House shall choose another member to be the Speaker of or the Deputy Speaker as the case may be. Speaker of the Lok Sabha is elected by option C, all members of Lok Sabha only. The Speaker of Lok Sabha is chosen by the all the then members of the Lok Sabha. Effective majority. Which of the following does not take oath of the president? Oath of the office. Option C, speaker. The oath to the office of the president is administered by the Chief Justice of India. Oath to the office of vice president is administered by the President of India. Oath to the prime minister is administered by the President of India. The president administers the oath to the members of Council of Ministers. The speaker does not take the oath of the office. Who among the following does not take oath of the office? Option D, speaker. The Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha do not take oath of the office. Article 93 of the Constitution mentions about the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. Article 94 deals with vacation, resignation, and removal from office of Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Article 95 describes the power of the Speaker, whereas the President, as per Article 60, Vice President, as per Article 69, the Council of Ministers, including Prime Minister, as per Article 75, Clause 4, and the judges of the Supreme Court, as per Article 124, Clause 6, take the oath of office. Who does the Speaker of Lok Sabha submits his resignation to? Option C, the Deputy Speaker. The Speaker of Lok Sabha may, at any time, by writing under his hand, addressed to the Deputy Speaker, resigns from his office. This provision has been made in the Article 94, which deals with vacation, resignation, and removal of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha addresses his letter of resignation to option C, Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha. How can the Speaker of Lok Sabha be removed? Option B, by a resolution of the Lok Sabha passed by the majority of all the members of the House. Procedure for the removal of the Speaker of Lok Sabha has been made under Article 94, Clause C. The Speaker of Deputy Speaker may be removed from his office by a resolution of the House of the People passed by a majority of all the then members of the House, provided that no resolution shall be moved unless at least 14 days notice has been given to the Speaker of the intention to move the resolution. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha can be removed from his office before the expiry of his term. Option B, if the Lok Sabha passes a resolution to this effect. The Speaker of Lok Sabha can be removed by the option a resolution of the Lok Sabha passed by a majority of the members of the House. With reference to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. While any resolution for the removal of Speaker of Lok Sabha is under consideration, he shall not preside. Correct. He shall not have the right to speak. It is incorrect because he has the right to speak. He shall not entitled to vote on the resolution in the first instance. While the resolution is under process, he has the right in the first instance to vote. So option 1 is only correct. As per Article 96, Clause 1 of the Constitution of India, at any sitting of the House of the People, while any resolution for the removal of the Speaker from his office is under consideration, the Speaker, or while any resolution for the removal of the Deputy Speaker from his office is under consideration, the Deputy Speaker shall not, though he is present, preside, and the provisions of Clause 2 of Article 95 shall apply in relation to every such sitting as they may apply in relation to a sitting from which the speaker, or as the case may be, the deputy speaker is absent. As per Article 96, Clause 2, the speaker shall have the right to speak in and otherwise to take part in the proceedings of the House of the People while any resolution for his removal from office is under consideration in the House, and shall, notwithstanding anything in Article 100, be entitled to vote only in the first instance on such resolution or on any other matter during such proceedings, but not in the case of an equality of votes. Consider the following statements. On the dissolution of the Lok Sabha of the people, the Speaker shall not vacate his office until immediately before the first meeting of the House of People after dissolution. According to provision of the Constitution of India, a member of House of People on being elected as Speaker shall resign from his or her political party immediately. It is incorrect. The Speaker of the House of People may be removed from his office by a resolution of the House of People passed by a majority of all the then members of the House, provided that no resolution shall be moved unless at least 14 days notice has been given of the intention to move the resolution. It is correct. So option C 1 and 3 is only correct. The provision regarding vacation, resignation, and removal from the office of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha are given in the Article 94 of the Indian Constitution. In the second proviso to the same article, it is clearly stated that when the Lok Sabha is dissolved, the Speaker shall not vacate his office on such dissolution and shall continue office until immediately before the first meeting of the newly constituted Lok Sabha. Therefore, statement 1 is correct. The Constitution nowhere mentions that a member of Lok Sabha, upon being elected as Speaker, must compulsorily resign from his political party immediately. Therefore, statement 2 is incorrect. The Speaker can be removed by a resolution passed by a majority of all the then members of the Lok Sabha. Such a resolution cannot be moved in the Lok Sabha unless at least 14 days notice of the intention to move the resolution has been given. Therefore, statement 3 is correct. Which one of the following statements regarding the office of Speaker is correct? Option D. If he intends to resign, the letter of his resignation is addressed to the Deputy Speaker. According to Article 94, the Speaker must be a member of the House at the time of his election for the office. The Speaker may be removed by a resolution of a majority of members of the House. According to Article 94, whenever the House is dissolved, the Speaker shall not vacate his office until immediately before the first meeting of Lok Sabha after the dissolution. According to Article 94, Clause B, if the Speaker intends to resign, the letter of his resignation is to be addressed to the Deputy Speaker. Regarding the office of Lok Sabha Speaker, consider the following statements. He holds office during the pleasure of the President. Incorrect. He need not be a member of the House at the time of his election but has to become a member of the House within 6 months from the date of his election. Incorrect. If he intends to resign, the letter of his resignation has to be addressed to the Deputy Speaker. It is correct. So only B is correct. The House of the People of the House, sorry, the Speaker of the House of the People shall be chosen by the members of Lok Sabha among themselves. He may be removed from the office by a resolution passed by the majority of all the then members of the House. The Speaker may address his resignation to the Deputy Speaker of the House. Which of the following statements is not true about the Speaker of Lok Sabha? It is incorrect because option A, Speaker has to be a member of the House within 6 months he assumes office. All the remaining options like he remains off Speaker so long as members of the House, correct. Speaker continues in office even if Lok Sabha is dissolved, correct. Speaker can be removed by a major members of the Lok Sabha, correct. So option 1A is only incorrect. According to Article 93 of the Constitution, the House of People chooses two members of the House to be respectively Speaker and Deputy Speaker. Therefore, no person who is not a member of the House can be chosen Speaker or Deputy Speaker. Under Article 94, Clause C of the Speaker or Deputy Speaker may be removed by a resolution of the House of the People, Lok Sabha, passed by a majority of all the then members of the House. Speaker or Deputy Speaker vacates his office if he ceases to be a member of the House. Article 94, Clause A. According to the second proviso of the Article 94, whenever the House of People is dissolved, the Speaker shall not vacate his office until immediately before the first meeting of the House of People after dissolution. The function of the pro tem Speaker is to option B, administers oath to the members. As soon as the new government is formed, the legislative section of the parliament prepares a list of the senior most Lok Sabha members and one of them is appointed as pro tem speaker. The function of pro tem speaker is to administer the oath to the newly elected members of the house and conduct proceedings till a regular speaker is chosen. who is generally appointed as a pro tem speaker? Option C, one of the senior most members of the newly elected Lok Sabha. As soon as the new government is formed, legislative section of parliament prepares a list of senior most Lok Sabha members. This list is then submitted to the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs for the appointment of pro tem speaker. Thereafter, the minister submits a note to the president seeking his approval for the appointment of the pro tem speaker. Which of the following statements regarding the powers of Speaker of Lok Sabha are correct? Choose the correct answers from the codes given below. The Speaker presides over a joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament. Correct. When a money bill is transferred from the lower house to the upper house, the Speaker shall endorse on the bill a certificate that it is a money bill. Correct. While a resolution for his removal is under consideration, the Speaker shall neither preside nor take in the proceedings. Option 3 is incorrect because he do not preside the meetings but take part in its proceedings. The Speaker does not vote in the House except when there is equality of votes. So 1, 3, 4, option C is correct. The President summons the joint sitting of the House of the Parliament under Article 108. The Speaker of the House of People presides over a joint sitting of both the Houses of Parliament under Article 118, Clause 4. Under Article 110, Clause 4, every money bill shall be endorsed when it is transmitted to the Council of States under Article 109 and when it is presented to the President for assent under Article 111, the certificate of the Speaker of the House of People signed by him that it is a money bill. Under Article 96, while a resolution for his removal is under consideration, the Speaker shall not preside, but he can take part in its proceedings, shall have the right to speak and the right to vote in the first instance and not in the case of equality of votes. Hence, the statement 3 is incorrect. According to Article 100, Clause 1, the chairman or speaker or person acting as such shall not vote in the first instance but shall exercise a casting vote, deciding vote in case of an equality of votes. The Speaker of Lok Sabha enjoys option A, the right to vote only in case of a tie. According to Article 100, Clause 1 of the Constitution, all questions at any sitting of either House or joint sitting of the Houses shall be determined by a majority of votes of the members present in voting, excluding the Speaker or person acting as chairperson or Speaker. The speaker or chairperson or person acting as such shall not vote in the first instance, but shall exercise a casting vote in the case of equality of votes, that is a tie, and hence decide the matter. In this case, the speaker's vote will count. According to an additional provision under Article 96, Clause 1, if the speaker's position is challenged by a motion in the Lok Sabha, they will continue to remain in their position until the motion is disposed of. According to Article 96, Clause 2, in such cases, if there is a motion of no confidence against the Speaker, they will not be allowed to vote during the debate of the motion, as their presence will not influence the vote. However, during other matters, the Speaker is entitled to cast their vote in case of a tie. This right is known as a casting vote. The Speaker may also delegate this casting vote to other members of the House. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha makes use of his casting vote only, option D, in case of a tie when votes are equally divided. Article 100, Clause 1 of the Constitution provides a procedure for voting in the Houses. Any question at any sitting shall be decided by a majority of votes of the members present in voting. According to Article 100, Clause 1, the Speaker or person acting as chairman or speaker shall not vote in the first instance, but shall have an exercise a casting vote in the case of an equality of votes. Article 96 gives a different exercise of casting a vote by the Speaker. According to Article 96, Clause 2, the Speaker shall have the right to cast a vote in the first instance on the question of resolution for his removal, but not in the case of equality of votes. Which one of the following articles of the Constitution provides that the Speaker shall have and exercise a casting vote in the case of an equality of votes? Option C, Article 100. Who was the first Speaker of Lok Sabha of India? Option A, Shri Ganesh Vasudev Mavalankar. Here is a list of the speakers of the Lok Sabha. Who was the first Speaker of the Lok Sabha? Option A, G.V. Mavalankar. G.V. Mavalankar became the first Speaker of the first Lok Sabha of independent India on 15th May 1952 and remained in office until his death on 27 February 1956. He is also known as the father of the Lok Sabha for laying the foundations of parliamentary procedure, rules, and traditions. This title was conferred on him by Jawaharlal Nehru. Who was the first Speaker of Lok Sabha of India? Option A, G.V. Mavalankar. The first Speaker against whom a no confidence motion was moved in the Lok Sabha was Option B, G.V. Mavalankar. Vigneshwar Mishra and Acharya J.B. Kripalani, with 21 parliament members of opposition, moved a no confidence motion against first Lok Sabha Speaker G.V. Mavalankar on 15th December 1954. This motion was refused by the Lok Sabha on 18th December 1954. The first female Speaker of Lok Sabha is Option D, Meera Kumar. The first woman Speaker of Lok Sabha was Meera Kumar. She was chosen unopposed as Speaker and served from June 2009 to June 2014. Who among the following was the first woman Speaker in Lok Sabha? Option C, Meera Kumar. Meera Kumar was the first woman Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Meera Kumar was an Indian diplomat, politician, and government official who served as Speaker of the 15th Lok Sabha from 2009 to 2014, the first woman to hold that position. Match list 1 with list 2. Option A is correct. The Speaker of 11th Lok Sabha was P.A. Sangma. 12th was G.M.C. Balyogi. Speaker of 14th Lok Sabha was Somnath Chatterjee. And Speaker of 17th Lok Sabha was Om Birla. At present, the Speaker of 18th Lok Sabha is also Om Birla. With reference to Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. As per the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha, the election of the election of deputy speaker shall be held on such a date as the speaker may fix. There is a mandatory provision that the election of a candidate as deputy speaker of Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. It is incorrect. The deputy speaker has the same power as the speaker when presiding over the sitting of house and no appeal lies against his rulings. It is correct. The well established parliamentary practice regarding the appointment of deputy speaker is that motion is moved by the speaker and duly seconded by the prime minister. It is incorrect. Option A, 1 and 3 only is right. As per Rule 8, Clause 1 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha, the election of deputy speaker shall be held on such date as speaker may fix and the secretary convey to all members. As per Article 93, the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of the People shall, as soon as may be, choose two members of the House respectively. There is no mandatory provision that the election of candidates as Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition or ruling party. Article 95, Clause 1 of Indian Constitution, in the absence of the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker chairs the House and has the same power as the speaker when presiding over the sitting of the house and no appeal lies against his rulings. As per Rule 8, Clause 2 of the Rule of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha, a motion regarding the appointment of the deputy speaker is moved by one member and seconded by another. Present Lok Sabha deputy speaker is at the time of question in 1999 PM Syed. Syed was the deputy speaker of the house. Charanjit Singh Atwal was Deputy Speaker of the 14th Lok Sabha and Karya Munda was the Deputy Speaker of the 15th Lok Sabha. M. Thambedurai was Deputy Speaker of 16th Lok Sabha. Currently, the post of Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha is vacant from May 2019. In case of Deputy Speaker is presiding the Lok Sabha, he has the right to option C, vote in the event of equality of votes. According to Article 95 of Indian Constitution, When the office of Speaker is vacant, its duties shall be performed by the Deputy Speaker, who can vote in the event of an equality of votes, while others are not rights of the Speaker. Who among the following was the first tribal Speaker of Lok Sabha? Option D. P.A. Sangma. On 23rd May 1996, P.A. Sangma became the first tribal Speaker of 11th Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha Secretariat comes under the direct control of the option D, Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha Secretariat works under the direction and control of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The Secretariat has supreme authority over its employees, premises, and assets of the Parliament and exercises this authority through the Secretary. The Lok Sabha Secretariat comes under the direct supervision of option D, Lok Sabha Speaker. The power to recruit the secretarial staff of the House of People is vested in the option D, President after consultation with the Speaker of the House of People. At the administrative level, the authority to issue appointment order lies with the Speaker of Lok Sabha, whereas the constitutional power to frame rules for its entire structure under Article 98 Clause 3 lies with the President, who makes rules for after consultation with the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. If viewed purely as who issues the individual appointment orders, then under Rule 6 of the Lok Sabha Secretariat, Recruitment and Conditions of Service Rules 1955, the answer would be the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, but this option is not given separately in the choices. Consider the following statements in relation to women members of 15th Lok Sabha. They are less than 10% of total members. Maximum of them belong to Indian National Congress. 3 members are elected from Rajasthan. Maximum women members are from UP. In the 17th law, it is the current affairs related question of the time. So in the 17th Lok Sabha, the women members were more than 14% of total number of members. There were a total of 78 women members, out of which 6 from INC and 41 from BJP. The highest number of women are elected from UP and West Bengal, 11 from each. Significantly, in 2023, Parliament passed the 106th Amendment Act 2023, which reserves one third of all seats for women in the Lok Sabha. The legislative assemblies and legislative assembly of National Capital Territory of Delhi, including those reserved for SCs and STs. In which year the number of women member of parliament was the lowest in the Lok Sabha? Option C, 1977. The lowest number of women elected to the Lok Sabha was in 1977, when only 19 women reached the lower house. In the general election 2019, the highest number of women reached to the Lok Sabha, that is 78. The recognition of a political party or an alliance of political parties as opposition by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha requires, all are incorrect because it requires 10%. For the recognition of leader of opposition by the Speaker of Lok Sabha, at least 10% of total membership, 543 of Lok Sabha, which means 54.3 or 54 members belong to the related party. In the general elections of years 2014 and 2019, no party in opposition could secure the required minimum numbers in the House, which is why the post of leader of opposition remained vacant in the 16th and 17th Lok Sabha. In the 18th Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi of the Indian National Congress became the leader of the opposition. Consider the following statements. In the first Lok Sabha, the single largest party in the opposition was the Swatantra Party. Incorrect. In the Lok Sabha, the leader of opposition was recognized for the first time in 1969. It is correct. In the Lok Sabha, if a party does not have a minimum of 75 members, its leader cannot be recognized as a leader of opposition. It is also incorrect because it required 54 minimum members. Option B is correct, two only. The first Lok Sabha elections were conducted for 489 seats, out of which INC won 364 seats and emerged as the single largest party. Second place was secured by Communist Party of India with 16 seats. It was only in 1969 that a leader of opposition was recognized. Till then, the practice was to call the leader of the party in opposition having the largest number of members as the leader of opposition without having any formal recognition, status, or privilege. However, in order to get formal recognition, The concerned party must have at least 10% of total strength of the house, that is 55 seats in the Lok Sabha. Thank you guys. Bye.